Westwood on the stations that leave no listener behind. We are on the Don Williamson Taxsaver and More radio show. As usual, the very first 5 minutes or so, Don's going to talk a little bit about saving the taxpayers some money. So with no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, former tax assessor, three-term tax assessor, Donald Williamson.
Well, first I want
Turn the microphone on.
it's up.
You got it now. Go for
I
it.
didn't touch it. Anyway, I want to welcome all of you listeners to out there in Radio Land, and I got so many things I can talk about. This time, I think I'm going to talk a little bit about what's happening, partly because of the fires. Insurance companies are really going after, and so sort of, that to keep the places cleaned up, so that that hopefully you won't have fires around that are less apt to. And but in the meantime, there are also some of the insurance companies are wanting to leave California, and so it's creating quite a problem for the tenants and landlords, and they got to work together because they're going after the things that.
Well, it's been a time for insurance companies, hasn't it? Oh my gosh! Imagine the claims are going to be in Texas right now, and all that tragedy down there.
All over the country, yes.
And our hearts and prayers are with them. It's certainly just a really bad thing. All the people left, in the wake of that storm and all those flooding and lost and everything else. We can only pray for them, and hopefully, I think it's up to 178 people lost in that flood.
I think
now.
it might be more than that, but anyway.
Yeah, that's
yes,
the last
they're
I
in
heard.
our prayers.
Oh, okay. All right. And, as you're saying, insurance companies are wanting to leave California. They might want to leave Texas, too. There's just all kinds of problems
and
everywhere.
Premiums are going way up. Mm-hmm. And it used to, if they found something, they'd tell you about it, and you'd go out and have it fixed and taken care of. Now, no, they just want to get rid of and that means the tenant's not going to have a place to live because you got to have it insured. And we got to work together, landlord and tenant, because some of the stuff is the tenant's responsibility. If he's got stuff stored up against the garage, up against the house, and they don't keep the weeds down and so on, that's his responsibility. On the other hand, they look at trees that are up against the house, and the limbs are over looking the house and so on. They'll call that out, and that's probably a landlord responsibility. And also what you got to maintain the roof. If you got any missing shingles, landlord's got to take care of that. So it's a two-way street. They got to work together. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I'm getting ready to tell one of my tenants, he's done work in the past, and I let him take it off the rent. I want to have him do some work that I say needs done, and I'm going to give him $500. But I got a new thing I'm offering to all my tenants that they can take $100 out of the rent for anything that comes up. They don't even have to get my permission. Just take it off, give me the receipt, tell me what it is, because I want to keep the house up. Inside the house, which you don't see from outside, I want to make sure there's no water leaks, under the kitchen sink or drippy faucets or so on. And if the roof is leaking, I want to know that, and because I want to get it fixed. That's my responsibility. But the tenant may have to tell me about it. And so we work together, but the FAIR plan, I've learned about it, and that's a lot better. And I got a person that's going to, in the next couple of weeks, will probably come and talk about the FAIR plan insurance. And it's better than I thought it was. It's got more things in it than I thought it was.
Yeah. If you have to settle for FAIR plan, that's good. Their fire insurance or lack, or whatever you call lapse, and do that. Don, do you have any forms you want to tell about or anything like that?
Well, it's interesting. I was thinking about the American Legion at VFW, the Veterans Organization exemption forms. In San Bernardino County, it's a shame. Before I left and retired and left, we actually, the last year, I actually went out and signed up 12 myself, American Legions, and they got the full exemption. Now most of them don't have it, or they get just a little piece of it. And I've been working with a lot of them. In fact, I was talking to one just yesterday, and I'm going to be going over to a nearby city that has lots of trouble. They sold their old place, got a new one, so they got a high value now. Prop 13, you get reassessed according to value when you bought it, and without the exemption, it's very taxes now very, very high, and they're in trouble. And they're in trouble because they don't have the full exemption. But the law, if you're American Legion, using it as the American Legion, you're entitled to the exemption. That's simple, but it's not happening. And it happened before I left office, but it ain't that way anymore.
Well, get an award for tax savings and tax people who pay taxes and things like that, and we're certainly glad. We're getting some calls in, and I wasn't prepared to take calls. Maybe after the break, we might take break. Maybe at 3:30, we'll take calls. Apparently, someone is putting out that our next guest is on, and they're trying to call through. But right now, we're here to talk about baseball and a sports complex.
Yeah, baseball.
And interview the mayor, and we want to give him a fair shake at that. So for right now, if you are on the lines and you're calling in, you're going to wait for about 25 to 30 minutes maybe, and we'll try to get to you. So,
and go Angels.
yes. With no further ado, we do have the current mayor, and honored to have the current mayor, Paul S. Leon. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's okay. However you say it, people have messed it up for years, so I don't really care. My dad used to say Leon because he believed in assimilation, so it's Leon, but he
Leon?
always said, just
Okay.
say Leon.
Sloan.
But he
Okay.
just say Leon, so because the people had tough time saying Leon. So.
Re-elected in 2022. Your term ends in 2026, but you first got elected in 1998. Is that correct?
Well, I was appointed in 1998.
Oh.
I to city council. Then I ran for mayor in I think it was January of 2005 when Gary Ovitt became a supervisor. You remember that?
I knew Gary.
Yeah, of course
Yes.
you did. So once he left, I ran for mayor, and I've been mayor since 2005. So I've been 20 years mayor.
Chairman of the Ontario Housing Authority?
Yeah, that's just a natural progression of political positions. The entire city council is part of the housing authority, so you have just.
But you're the chairman.
Yeah, but I'm also
Okay.
the mayor.
Okay. So that's ex officio kind of thing?
Yeah, it's just kind of the
Okay.
natural progression. Yeah.
All right. And Animal Resource Center of the Inland Empire you're involved with?
Yeah, president of the Animal Resource Center. My wife and I love animals, and my wife is a rescuer, and we have just seen the inhumanity of man to animals, and so we took on the challenge along with other cities. We have Chino Hills, Montclair, ourselves, and we have and the county through Kurt Hagman. We've banded together, and we put together our own Animal Resource Center. So that we could create a no-kill shelter where we would be able to invite the nonprofits to be a part, join us in making sure that all of our fur family are taken care of correctly in our community.
Yeah, because people don't like the idea if they have to. For example, they're moving and can't take their dog or cat or
I
whatever. it is.
attended fireworks at the
They-
Yucaipa
they-
Animal Placement Society,
They
too.
want
Just
to
the
take
virus.
it somewhere where they're not going to be put to sleep.
That's right. And that's a no-kill, too. Yaps
That's
is
what
a
I mean.
no-kill, too.
That's what I mean.
So,
Now,
I love animals as well. Ontario is a growing, burgeoning city. I'll say a burgeoning city.
Thank you.
How many people are in, what's the population of Ontario?
The official tally is, I think it's 180 something, but we know that not everybody jumps in on that, so we think it's over 200,000. But our daytime population jumps up quite a bit, so for people who are sleeping at night, just around 200,000 plus the many hotels we have, plus the airport. There's always foot traffic, if you will. There are always people in Ontario.
So just a tad smaller than San Bernardino. San Bernardino is 217,000.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
well, that's okay.
I don't.
fast. I mean, we have the entire Ontario Ranch coming in online.
Fontana's growing so fast.
Fontana's, a
Wow.
great city too. I really love their mayor. Their mayor is Aquanetta. She's my good
Aquanetta
buddy.
Warren, yeah.
And, she's done a good job of leading the pack there and making sure that they're doing well.
We have a good mayor in Helen Tran, I believe, and she's really been cleaning up. I mean, when we just came to this building like 6 months ago. We moved in. These are new studios for us, relatively new studios. We came from Redlands, and you know what? I was a little bit trepidatious because there were homeless people in the two parks on either side of us, and they said, well, we're going to clean that up. And by God, they have by and large cleaned that up and helped people out, I guess, and got them removed from the parks. We have some things here and there, as you saw coming in. We won't talk about it on the air.
Did you see it?
I did not see it.
It's okay. It's homeless people.
I did go out there after I escorted you to the green room, and there might have been a lady with a bun on her head, and
No,
that wasn't her.
no,
Okay.
that wasn't
I'm glad I didn't approach her then and say, "Hey, get out of here!" But this is on the other side of the building. On that other building across the campus is the Teamsters Union, Teamsters 1930, the biggest
Which is my
Teamsters
old
Union.
Right.
union.
Yeah.
Teamsters Union on the West Coast, and Randy Corgan, chair. He's in Philadelphia right now, by the way, so we won't be seeing him today. But it's been good to be a part of this, and good to be a part of what is happening is the renaissance of San Bernardino, I believe, and I hope. And we're here to talk about a little bit about baseball. And speaking of renaissance, oh boy, let me tell you, there is the Diamond Baseball Holdings. I'm sure you know who they are.
Yeah. We have, of course, the organization that's coming in to take care of our field and our team and
So we're going to talk about that.
the Empire, our Ontario Empire. It's the sports.
I'm waiting for a name. Is there a name to the team yet?
I can't reveal it. I have to allow them to announce it.
Okay. Trying to get that name out of you. Up with some names ourselves.
People forget the aeronauts, because if you can't be the Jets and you can't be the whatever names,
That's
not. But I thought that the aeronauts could fit the airport and also, but they have their own ideas and their own thoughts. So that they own the team, they own the naming rights. So we're just going to flow with that. And
a baseball stadium, the runway.
yeah.
Name for the baseball stadium?
Yeah, it's the Empire. It's the Sports Empire.
Sports Empire. So now, there's a big baseball happening. You have had in the San Manuel Stadium the Inland Empire 66ers for years and years and years, and they changed, and now they're moving to Rancho Cucamonga, and then Rancho Cucamonga is moving to your stadium.
Yeah, well, the team, the positioning of that team, but the name stays in Rancho.
Right.
So that's the.
Modesto Nuts are coming down to become the Inland Empire 66ers, and we will have the Quakes in Rancho still, and then the Quakes are moving. No, the Quakes are going to move to your stadium, and they're going to get a new name. So, so we will see what's going on with that. Tell me, is the hotel involved?
Yeah, there's actually there are there's a hotel, and there has to be for the Sports Empire. It's not just the baseball field for the incoming Dodger affiliate team. It is a complex that will have about 220 acres of sports fields of all kinds, so that we can meet the need in our community in a large, grand way for the kids to be able to have a place to play and not cost them a lot of money, because we're not going to charge local people. But, that's the plan now, and if I ever leave, then someone else can change that, but that's my goal. We have 5-acre parks all over town. And in the 50s and 60s, when that was being addressed, the need for community parks, that was big enough. I mean, you had football, you had baseball, you had basketball. And now we have soccer and pickleball and futsal and
So multiple sports in that complex.
So there's not enough on these 5 to 10 acre parks that we have to fulfill needs. You have the soccer people are in contention with the baseball people, in contention with the football people, all fighting over the same grass.
So are there going to be individual stadiums for this, or is this going to be one stadium?
There'll be multiple lots, if you will. There'll be multiple fields. Some of them will have the ability to be soccer, futsal, something else. Some will have baseball and football. We'll be able to adjust to the season. But the other thing is, when I was a kid, you played in a season. Now it's all year round. You have year round softball. You have year round everything. I think maybe football is the only thing I don't see year round, but it's a lot longer than it was when I was a kid, specific. Basketball can be played outside, inside. So we have a need in our city that you are so clearly stating is, under the 200,000, but we're growing. We're going to be 300,000 before long. So we're going to need to have not only this Empire, the Empire Stadium and all this other stuff, but the Sports Empire, that's what we call it. But we're also going to have a great park that will also have other places for people to recreate. We'll still have all of these 5-acre parks all over town. So we are upgrading our sports facilities for the families of Ontario.
Okay, and you talk about the population increasing to 300,000. So you're expecting a 100,000 person population increase?
Well, as we continue to grow Ontario Ranch, which is not even half developed.
What kind of housing is that?
It's multiple. It's different housing. You go from executive housing, the big houses with little yards, all the way to high density single family homes, to apartments, to townhomes. And it's all set in the right places. I think that we have designed the development, and it's going so fast, we actually have a motto saying, "Pardon our dust." We're doing so much in the city of Ontario in every direction that it just seems like the entire city is under construction. But the goal for us is to have enough housing. It's set by the state. The state says you have to have so many houses or so many dwellings. And so we are fulfilling the state requirement and doing everything we can to make Ontario. I think it's an outdated and overused phrase, but I'll use it right now just to be clear. We want Ontario to be the best place where you can live and work and play and not have to leave the
Have a
valley.
nice family.
So with this new bill by Scott Wiener up in San Francisco that talks about using metro land and land around railways and stuff to build high-density, high-rise housing?
Well, yeah, it's TOD. It's called transit-oriented development. And I think it's spectacular. We kind of have done it in Ontario. I don't call housing affordable. It is workforce attainable. This idea of the old terms of like, let's just say, the projects.
Yeah.
What do does anyone say, I used to live in the projects?
Well, I didn't, but that's... Yeah.
That just attaches to where you live, and that doesn't make you a bad person. It's just
Well, the
what you're-
project is normally something that's a government-based housing.
or government built, and then
government
people were able to afford to live there. So then it transitioned to affordable housing with that same government stigma. Then they attached Section 8. So a lot of people think Section 8 are the losers of the world. That isn't true. There's some really great people who have no money, single moms and
Well,
others.
let's face it, housing is incredible.
So in Ontario, we create workforce attainable housing.
Workforce attainable housing, okay.
So the people who are starting the beginning of their life and they are working families and they can work and attain an apartment in Ontario And what we've done is we have them, and the planning that has happened from way back to now, we're starting to see the BRT, the bus route, is going to have stops right in front of those
Houses?
well, the apartments that we have partnered with the builders to create workforce attainable housing, but the bus lane right now gives them the ability to travel the circle of our valley, of the West End. So what does that do? If you live on the center of Ontario, but you work at Victoria Gardens, you got a ride now. The thing that Wiener, that's a horrible name.
Wiener,
I get it. Der.
Der Wiener. I eat those hot dogs.
Actually, it's Das, but
Okay, let's not go
so
there.
what he's saying is that whenever there is a station for light rail or rail, and I advocate for light rail to come through Ontario, but right now the funding goes to Montclair. And so we have to build the bus line because it's faster than waiting 20 more years for the rail. But it will also, the bus lane will connect to the Montclair terminus of the light rail, which is the B line, I think, used to be the Gold Line. So what he's saying is that.
Well, you have a big airport though too, so.
But people aren't going to live around the airport and apartments and all that stuff. But these transient-oriented developments will put in the type of housing where people can actually live right there at the station. If you go to South Pasadena, that's exactly that station, and then there's this huge apartment complex.
I like the idea too. I like the idea.
It works.
And then we had something like a relaxation of the California Environmental Quality Act, the CEQA Act or something. The Governor Newsom's going to sign in. What do you think of that?
Well, I think that some of these regulations have gone far enough. I won't say too far, because I think that you do the best you can to make it life the best by regulating things. But then if you see it's a little much, it's time to back off. And I think that's what's going on, because you can't tell me build all this and make homes for all these people, then say, but the CEQA doesn't allow you to do that. That can really mess you up or take you years. So that's all I'm saying.
All right, believe it or not, it's just the mid-break here.
I don't believe it.
And but we with more of Mayor Paulione on KCA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
KCAA The Legacy KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM.
Community matters. As the weather warms up and school is out for the summer, swimming is often a way to cool down and have fun. But keep in mind safety first when children and bodies of water come together. Whether it's at the beach, lake, swim center, or in the backyard, being safe and cautious is always important. Drowning is the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 4, and the second leading cause of unintentional injury death for children ages 5 to 14, according to the Center for Disease Control. The CDC estimates there are 11 drowning deaths each day in the United States. In San Bernardino County, from 2020 to 2023, there were 47 drowning deaths. Last year, 7 people, 3 of them children, drowned in the county, according to Safe Kids Inland Empire. Education is really what's going to make the big change, and it needs to start early. Swim lessons as young as 6 months old, CPR and first aid classes can save lives. Drownings often happen quickly and quietly. So far this year, there have been 9 reports of near drownings involving children in Riverside County. In those cases, First 5 Riverside reaches out to connect families with swimming lessons. The majority of near drownings involving young kids occur in backyards and pools during non-swim time when adults aren't watching. Water safety experts emphasize the importance of having a significant sober supervisor keeping an eye on everyone in the water, and access to and proper use of life jackets in open bodies of water and on boats. For a day at the pool, beach, or other bodies of water, it's recommended parents get their children bright-colored swimsuits so that they're easier to find in the water. Families can get free swimming lessons in Riverside County pools if they have exposure or access to an open body of water, especially if they're referred by someone at First Five or another county department. In 2023, in Riverside County, of the 31 people who drowned to death, 24 were adults. We want to have fun out there with California's warm weather and beautiful waters, but we have to remember safety first. To learn more about safety or swim lessons, check your city's or your county's website. For Community Matters, I'm Lillian Vasquez.
What is your plan for your beneficiaries to manage your final expenses when you pass away? Life insurance, annuities, bank accounts, investment accounts, all require a death certificate, which takes 10 days based on the national average, which means no money is immediately available, and this causes stress and arguments. Simple solution: the beneficiary liquidity plan. Use money you already have. No need to come up with additional funds. The funds grow tax deferred and pass tax-free to your named beneficiaries. The death benefit is paid out in 24 to 48 hours without a death certificate. You heard me right. Without a death certificate. Call us at 1-800-306-5086.
Miss your favorite show? Download the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
You got it. Thing to Micah. KCA 1050 AM 106.5 FM. Said we have Mayor Paul Leon in the building today. We like to occasionally interview people. We've had Congressman Pete Aguilar. I've interviewed Congressman Baca back when he was a congressman. We've had all people on with us, and we like to give everybody a fair shake and a chance to talk and air what they want to air. Paul, you're a nonpartisan, right?
That's right. I'm an independent.
But you were Republican before, right? But this is a nonpartisan office.
Yeah. Right, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's a
Long time
nonpartisan
ago. So I
office.
switched in 2013, so it's been
2013.
12 years I've been an independent.
Okay. And so we're talking about housing, and of course housing is, no matter where we build it and what we built, it's expensive to build a house these days. It's like $240 a square foot. It's just outrageous. Do you have any idea how we can lower that cost and let families enter housing these days? Because I don't know how they're going to do it.
Well, interest rates, of course, make the big difference in a person's ability to purchase a home. But with the city is what we do is we partner with developers who build what we call, as we were talking about earlier, workforce attainable housing. A beginning teacher, a beginning firefighter, beginning police officer, you name it, even a beginning person working anywhere, they need to be able to make enough money to have a comfortable life so that just like my parents, putting food on the table and a roof over your head was the most stressful thing they ever faced. My parents bought their first house for $10,000.
I remember those days.
You're a senior pastor of Hope Chapel Church in Ontario.
Yes.
And you've been on since 1977 there?
No.
Oh, maybe that was...
I got military in
I'm
late
reading your
77.
bio, yeah.
I got military in October of 1977. I had
Okay.
been in there 4 years.
Okay, and you were in the United States Army. So was my
I
dad.
was actually worked for NSA. I mean, I was in the Army Security Agency, which was the Army's leg of the National Security Agency.
Okay, which then got put into Homeland Security, right?
Absorbed by military intelligence.
Military intelligence, okay. My dad was military intelligence. I was born on an Army base, Fort Bliss, Texas.
Cool.
William Beaumont General. I shouldn't give that information out. I might get my identity stolen. But
Go look it up.
it's hard to.
I just figured out this funny thing. So my son, who is 48 years old, he was born at March Air Force Base in March.
In March, in March Air Force.
March 14th.
Riverside.
Yeah. That's funny.
Okay. And let me see. I'm reading here. Professional life includes 3.5 years Army, 15 years in the trucking industry. Were you a Teamster?
I had my own trucks. I had a contract. I started with J.C. Penney's. I branched out to many of the stores you guys know. I don't want to name them because then
Well, that's okay.
I'm old. You know, because I worked for Buffum's. I worked for
I remember Buffum's.
I worked for Brooks.
I remember
worked for Barker Brothers. I worked for Broadway.
They're all gone.
No, they weren't furniture. I worked for I can never remember the name of the family store that was in every city, but yeah, I worked for them too.
Which kind of store was it?
They sold out to Heilig Myers. What was the name of that family-run conglomerate? Doesn't matter. It was a furniture store, but each
McMahon's.
furniture. Yes, that was it. Thank you, McMahon's.
Okay.
And so I was the sole delivery contractor for McMahon's, and they changed their name to Express. They're still in existence. So,
Well, I went through a run where every radio station I worked for business. I thought I was a jinx too. You are.
I closed it. J.C. Penney's is still there.
Okay.
I thought they were going to go out, but they're not. They're going on.
Well, you know, they got a good business deal. People trust them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And working, earning a living, a family man. Do you have any kids?
I have 3. I have 2 of our own. We have an adopted daughter. They're 44, 46, and 48.
Okay.
44, 46, 48. Every 2 years.
Yeah, well, Steffi came to us later in life, but Paul Michael is the oldest. Christina was county council.
She was.
Yeah.
County council. After who?
Well, just when it all ended and they were transitioning into a firm just a few years ago.
A lot of them do that now, yeah.
My daughter was the final county council for about a year. And she's
the
not
last one.
retired. She just doesn't work anywhere. She lives in Idaho and she contracts with the county still.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Alan Marks. He was county council.
Yeah, I mean, we go way back, both of us.
Yeah, we do.
So you've been in office, 27 years?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, 26, 27.
26,
Yeah, I
27
started
years?
in 98, yeah.
And you have these kids, and you've served multiple terms, obviously. Is it mayor directed in
Yes,
Ontario? It
sure is.
Okay.
Yeah, either that or I'm not sharing the rotation.
So,
4 more years.
so but you don't rotate in and out of mayor, but
No, we're
okay.
we're an elected mayor.
Okay. UKIPA does that. They're city, one of 36 charter cities, but they've changed their charter recently, about 4 or 5 years ago. They still elect the mayor, but they don't have a rotating in and out mayor. But the mayor is just kind of a figurehead.
Yeah, a lot of cities have kind of an elected city manager they call mayor.
So are you a strong mayor form of government?
No, we're not. We're a council manager, city manager form of government.
So you just cast a deciding vote once in a while.
No, I cast an equal vote all the time.
Okay,
and it's just
so
a majority.
that's different than in
the
San
good thing
Diego.
about Ontario is we're pretty much 5-0 all the time because we all have the same vision and the same drive, and that's what's kept us alive all these years is the consistency, reliability, and for businesses. I come from a small town up north, Ojai, and they can't get it together. Every 2 years they change the council. So if you make a business decision there, you're going to see it undone by the next council. In the city of Ontario, we have been consistent for so many years. People have had confidence in investing with us, to the billions of dollars because they've seen the consistency of the council. They're not worried about somebody coming in and turning it around on them.
Okay. Don, do you have any questions?
Well, not necessarily, but I want to tell Paul that we get after all these years.
Yeah, good
And
to see you
we
again.
go back when I was the assessor, he was still a mayor, and he's
That's
still a mayor.
Yeah.
Are you planning, or can I ask that question? Are you planning on running again?
Well, yeah, I'm running, I'll
4 more years.
yeah, I'm running again. That's absolute, there's always somebody who wants to take the seat, but I think that
You retire, you don't want to relax.
well, so what, I mean, it's not like it's the hardest job in the world. I used to deliver for heaven's sakes. I'm not lifting any sofas or washers and dryers and singing,
Your job, is it stressful
No.
being a mayor of a big city? Isn't
it can be if you make it that way. Don, I rely on God for my strength. I don't, whatever happens is in the will of the Lord as far as I'm
Person I've had that comes in and says, my job's easy.
Well, how can it be hard? You have, in the city of Ontario, I have, colleagues who are very smart people. And then I have, as far as the city council, and experienced people. Then I have staff that are very, very good staff, people who have come from larger cities. They've brought their expertise here. We welcome that. And so we think that we're a pretty well-oiled machine at this point.
City manager, form of government, so you've had, unlike San Bernardino, you probably had just one city manager for a long time, or?
No, actually, I think Scott's been with us around 7 years. I can't remember, but we started off with Greg Devereaux.
Oh,
who
I knew him.
ended up at the county, and then we went on to Chris Hughes, then Al Bowling. Now we're with Scott. We've had a succession of city managers, but we've always looked for the quality of the person and the education of that person. So we're good. We're good.
Okay, well, we're talking with Mayor, if you've just joined us, Mayor of Ontario. I say a burgeoning city, I mean that, growing, not mean it like growing badly, but poorly,
Thank you.
but growing, and it's in between the 60 and the 10 freeway, basically, with a big in the middle of it.
We have some really big projects. We have so many irons in the fire. There's, like I said earlier, pardon our dust. We're expanding the arena, doubling its size. We're doing an entire entertainment events section of town around the arena. Our convention center is doubling in size. We're completely taking over the current parking. We're building a parking structure. We're working with a independent company to build a 5-star hotel right across from the convention. 5-star will be the only 5-star hotel in the Inland Empire.
Okay, is that going to be a Hilton, a Marriott, or what?
Well, you first got to start building it before you know. I mean,
No comments, is that what you're?
well, as part of the planning and building of a hotel, you go out and you get that name brand to put on it. So we haven't even stuck a shovel in the dirt yet. So we want to have it done before.
Oh yeah, I was going to
the
ask you,
Olympics.
have you started any of this construction yet?
Oh
Is
yeah,
it in the
yeah.
plan?
The arena stuff is already going on.
Team in 2026.
Yeah.
They ask you two.
No, that's not it. The arena really doesn't have a lot to do with the baseball. It's on the baseball stadium is in the south side of town, off of Riverside Drive and Vineyard. The arena is all the way on the other side of the airport.
Okay, I
And-
thought all together.
No.
Oh, okay.
The Great Park, which is that 300+ acre park,
Is that the 10 soccer fields?
that's the Ontario Empire.
Okay.
That's the Inland Empire. What am I saying? I'm getting all tongue-tied here.
Built by the way?
Sixers, 66ers.
No,
No.
that's something different.
That's you guys.
Oh, okay.
No, the Sports Empire, the Ontario Sports Empire, will have all of these other fields. The Great Park, which is south of the Sports Empire, if you put it together, that's way over 500 acres.
Well, I know the plan you have here.
Yeah.
And privately built. How are you getting the funds for all this? Because a lot of cities are struggling.
Well, first off is that our residents being very astute in what it takes to fund a city. We've made investments with businesses. So, some people will complain, others understand that when you partner with big businesses, you get money. I mean, how many of us don't know how crazy it was for AOC to say no Amazon in her district in New York? The billions of dollars she lost for her people. And so
Well, she had problems with the wages and prevailing wages.
So
and all
then
that.
they don't work. Okay.
Well, remember where you're sitting. You're sitting in a union building.
I get
very well.
I understand. I'm not,
Amazon now is union.
Yeah, and we have Amazon offices right in here.
well, I mean to criticize anybody.
But
I'm
you just did, so.
Well, no,
I
I
didn't.
I wasn't criticizing. I was bringing it up that
But, yeah.
when she criticized Amazon, they left.
You brought up AOC. We weren't going to be political. I was trying to talk about baseball. But you took it political.
If it wasn't anybody who did
So,
it, if
you know,
it,
You want to bring in?
Paul, if you're going to do politics, then you can't do it on one side of the fence, okay? You got to be you got to be fair. You got to let people talk. You got to let people, voice their opinions, okay?
yeah.
And that's why I'm going to the phones. Take line 1. Let's have a question.
Line 1, you're live.
Hello?
Chris Robles from Montana. We're quite well.
Hi, Chris.
Hello. Yeah, so the first half you were talking about the stadium and low-income housing. I'd like to comment on both of those, especially it isn't so much the ideas and concepts. It's the way the city goes about them that I have, and many, many residents in Ontario have serious questions about. So let's talk about the low income first. We have 2 low-rise complexes concentrated on Holt Boulevard, not spread out throughout the community, and they're built by a nonprofit that was just mentioned about a hotel. He's also the developer of the hotel, and we have a brand new council member who works for this nonprofit. So there's a lot of conflict of interest, a lot of issues around that, and especially concentrating it in the same location as the traditional Latino low-income community. It's just not fair. And then onto the stadium. Oh my gosh, where do I start? So first of all, in one meeting, they spent $445 million, but not one penny has gone to rebuilding the J. Littleton Field, a historic field, again, in the same community where the low-income housing is being concentrated. And then the promise was for all of these fields. I went to the meetings. All these fields for the community, which we desperately need. Mayor and I agree on that. The problem is they're not building those. Instead, they're building a stadium and a parking structure for it that is ticketed and people would have to pay to go into. Now, how many of these ballparks do we need? We already have 3 in the area within easy driving distance. So now we're 4th here in Ontario.
So respond to one thing at a time. But the thing is
Okay.
this. I don't think you're the only vote on the council, right?
No.
Okay. So to be fair, how did you vote for that? Did you all vote in unison?
Well, we haven't said anything about J. Littleton Field because we haven't had the study yet. It's coming up. J. Littleton Field has a history. I was going to say, because we were talking about baseball earlier, and the Angels were the first baseball team of Southern California. The Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Where were they? At J. Littleton Field. That's where they started. J. Littleton Field was used in.
So the Angels started in Ontario.
Yeah, but the field that he's talking about.
Too bad
was
it's not
what-
the Angels franchise in Ontario.
Yeah.
It's the Dodgers. Okay.
But it was a wooden structure. You've seen it in movies. You saw it in A League of Their Own. You know that whole scene of.
Is that still standing?
No, it burnt to the ground.
Oh, shoot.
The field is intact. And we were in the process of talking about how we could improve the stands when, an unfortunate thing happened. Somebody lit it on fire, And so we have an insurance. And Chris, you know this. We have an insurance company that has to settle with us before we decide on what we're going to do with the rebuilding of it. The other problem is if we put a lot of money in that, it's going to take. We have estimated it's going to take near $20 million to build it the way it is. But then what are we going to do with it? Because you got to have parking. There's no parking there, and so. To be fair to the rest of the people, we have to figure out how we're going to keep it, utilize it, and make it somehow better, but not so much that it impacts negatively the community around that field that doesn't, there's just no
So
parking.
when you partner with big business, you said partner with big business. What is the extent of the partnership? What does the city gain from helping a big business out other than revenue, maybe tax increment? Are they getting tax increment?
Well, in order for us to have workforce attainable housing, and what Mr. Robles is referring to is that we have Terra Vista, which is a workforce housing, and then on the other end, on the other side of Euclid, we have the other workforce housing. Both of them are along Holt because
And what will those houses run for? Do you know? Do you have any
they're
idea?
apartments.
They're apartments, so they're not being sold; they're being rented.
Yeah, they're
Do you
rented.
have any idea what the rents will be in those?
I think they start at around $600 for a single room, up to
Really? That's pretty
13.
cheap.
13. I think those are the prices. Those were the prices thrown around. I don't really have
You
the
don't know,
exact
so-
price. Well, I know that they're in that realm because we want to make them available to the workforce.
My big question is, how do we make housing more affordable? We're going to have some high-rise housing. We're
Well,
going to have some
yeah.
denser housing in appropriate areas. Chris, you were referring to an area. I lost you on that. Are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
You were talking about houses being built. Where were you saying they were being built? That you're objecting to?
No. It's the mayor just mentioned it. There are two large.
Okay,
They're, I call them low-rise complexes. They're about 4 or 5 stories.
4 stories.
And
That's good. That's
yeah,
good.
okay. And they're it's concentrated low-income housing, which should be spread out. I mean, you just had a conversation about living in public housing. This is not public housing, so I will say that. But once again, you're concentrating it in areas that have traditionally always been low income instead of spreading the good around the entire city. All the benefits, all the things the mayor just talked about, are all in the south part of Ontario. It took me over an hour to get around the airport to get to the area where the complex was being built, but just to see the plans for it. It's not accessible to the vast majority of where people live. My objection is that $445 million plus whatever other millions of dollars have already gone into this project should have been discussed with the community and focused on the needs of the neighborhoods and the community that already exist, not concentrating it in one area.
Okay,
And
Chris.
frankly, if it was a great project, you should have started with the fields first for the kids, not some large stadium that's going to have a big plaque that has all the council members' names on it. It's just
Okay, and
Let's
let's
let the mayor
let the mayor come on that, and then we're going to have to wrap up because we're running out of time.
Yeah, Chris, thanks for all the great questions, and you always come forward with some crazy. No, I'm just kidding you, Chris. We're
Got to work with words, but
we're good. That's why I'm not getting upset or anything, because I know that he's honestly asking these questions.
and we want-
But the thing is the information isn't necessarily the way it is. We don't have land everywhere, and when a developer comes and says, I have this project to build, if you give me the land, we will work with you to create this workforce housing. That's how it happened. So we had property that was next to a railway that they build in all the stuff that keeps them insulated from that. The housing that we've done is spectacular. And so we have all of this going on. We can't do it just anywhere. I told you were getting upset about when last time we talked about having parks in the north. We don't have property to build a park up there. We have to buy it and do it. So,
Chris Leon is a regular on our show, by the way, and a regular on the state.
Chris Robles.
Excuse me, Chris Leon's a friend of mine. Leon,
Yeah,
and Chris
Chris
Robles
Robles,
over
yeah.
here is a
Yeah,
regular.
yeah.
My apologies to Chris, but
I don't mind Chris
Leon.
Robles.
But you have, I know city council always have, the public have where they can comment on things that they're planning, so.
We do. I think that we do a fair job. Of course, Chris doesn't agree with me, but that's okay.
Well, we all have differences of opinion, and thank you, Chris, for calling in. We appreciate that, and we appreciate having the mayor here and answering questions. But, I think people aren't partisan one way or the other. They're now saying, "How can I afford a house? How can I afford to live? Do I need safe streets? I want safe streets.
Yes.
I don't want to have to wait an hour to get across town in parking and jammed up. All these stuffs are tough questions to answer, but you can't be too anxious to be in partnership with business. But at the same time, you have to have business to bring it in, so you don't have. And I apologize. This is my hometown, San Bernardino. So all of those keeping in mind here, these questions have to be an open dialogue. You have to be open. You have to be honest. And all the time, politics isn't everything, regardless of whether it's building a baseball stadium, or building new housing, or building homes for homeless, whatever it is. And of course, Mayor, politics follows you around because you're
The mayor.
the mayor.
That's right.
Don, do you have a question real quick? We got a minute.
But we let somebody have a comment like Chris Robles, and he's bringing that forward to you, and that's what we're all about.
Well, thank you very much. We've been talking to, we didn't even get the fact that you're pastor of Hope Chapel Church.
Yep.
And you attended the Cleveland
Senior
Institute
pastor.
of Electronics, which that's an interesting.
Radio and TV repair guy.
Oh, is that what that was? Okay,
Yeah.
replace the
It's washers, dryers, but that didn't work.
And then next to mention Bible College, where you were awarded a doctorate of divinity.
Yeah.
So do they refer you to as doctor?
No.
No.
They can, but I mean, I don't do that.
Yeah. The Reverend Paul S. Leon.
Yes.
That you're comfortable with that. You looked at.
I tell people just call me Paul, even at church. I don't believe in big I's and little U's.
Okay, I lost you on that one, but okay.
A big I, little U. I don't play that game.
Oh.
We're all the same size.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
We're
I was saying A-I-O-U.
No, we're all equal.
What is the only state with two vowels that begins with two vowels?
Iowa?
You got it. That was good. That was good. All right. Well, this is Mark Westwood. I've been sitting here with Don Williamson. We've had another show. We're coming to the end. Thank you, Paul Leon, for being on. I know there's
Thank
other
you for
people
having me.
on the line. I didn't want to talk about other things like that, but you guys know what I was talking about. The mayor has answered part of that, and but we do want to talk about housing, development, business, and how it's used. And I'd like to invite you to come back. Will you come back?
Sure. All of those things that you just mentioned, and even what Chris is talking about, you have to do it where you can do it. You can't just pick and choose. I want to go. We're not a place where you can just.
And here we are. I don't know
take
if you have it at
take
your
up.
city council meetings with a 3-minute comment section. It's hard for people. They want to talk. They want to communicate. And then you guys get the microphone, and we have the microphone here. So it's good to bring you forward. It's going to get the information out. I'm Mark Westwood. Thank you, Don Williamson. Thank you, Eric Osorio in the booth. And thank you to my assistants over there. And we appreciate everyone here at KCAA, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
Thank you, Chris, for calling in. Thank you, Mayor, for being here.
Thank you.
Protected.